get our official introductions from our ring announcer, Ed Darien.
From Yonkers Raceway, Joe DeGuardia proudly presents Star Boxing. This bout is scheduled for 4 rounds, and it's in a light heavyweight division. Our judges, Jim Pierce, Alan Groper, and Chick Hill. Our referee is Joe Santarapia. Introducing first in the red corner, wearing a white trunks with the red trim. He weighed in at an even 175 pounds. This young man has 2 wins, 3 losses, 1 draw, with 1 knockout. All the way from Georgetown, Guyana, and now making his home in Brooklyn, New York, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Big John Douglas. Douglas and his opponent in the blue corner, wearing a white trunks with the black trim. He too weighed in at an even 175 pounds. This young man is making his professional boxing debut. From Brooklyn, New York, ladies and gentlemen, here is Naseem Deen. Deen.
Gentlemen, you won't know the rules. I want a good, clean fight. Most of all, I want you to protect yourself at all times. Any questions? Shake hands now, and God bless you both.
Well, John Douglas became Big John Douglas.
Arnie, this is a weird matchup. I mean, you're turning pro. You're Naseem Deen. You haven't fought professionally, and you're fighting a guy who's been in with Wayne Braithwaite, a top 5 cruiserweight, and Gabe Hernandez, a fighter who's fought for the world title. Kind of strange, no?
And he did it in his first 2 fights.
Let's see what happens.
On the other hand, John Douglas will be 30 next month. And right now, looking rather slow. You know, he didn't fight it all, though, last year, Steve, so maybe they took it because of the rust factor. Douglas has been off for over a year. 18 months to be exact. And I stand corrected on that. Douglas's last fight was July of 2000. Just been corrected. It's these cheap ring records that they gave us on this show. You can't read them.
When they're in pencil, it's a bad sign. Naseem Deen, a little over anxious so far. What is he built like a rock, huh?
Deen, of course, in the white and black, white and red for John Douglas. A lot of people, though, don't think that's the right kind of build, though, for a professional fighter, Steve, that you're too stiff.
I agree. Usually the overly muscular guys get tired quickly. They have trouble throwing straight punches. Let's look for that from Deen, a possible problem.
Both fighters a little tentative right now. Keeps his left very low.
Deen, yeah, he does. And also, he's a little too square. Watch his footwork when he stands in his stance. He's a little square. He's not really... It's almost like he's facing straight on against his opponent instead of being off to the side.
Well, it's his right foot, Steve. He's not turning his right foot to the outside, which would be a much more traditional stance, and he's squaring up just like he is right now, both feet facing forward. Not shy about throwing that big right over the top.
So far, 1 shot at a time for Deen.
He heard you, Steve. Opens up with a 3-punch combination that rocks Douglas. Douglas caught in the corner back there. Let's see what kind of poise Deen can show right now. And he dropped his own guard and got caught with a short left hook on the inside.
He got a little excited there, and he allowed Douglas to get close enough to grab. One thing about Deen, he commits to his punches, huh?
Appears to be somebody's mouthpiece on the floor. Santarpia not stopping the action.
Can't get enough of Joe DeGuardia's Star Boxing? Download the Star Boxing TV app or check out our Roku channel to watch exclusive content and classic fights. Every punch, every knockout, every screen. The Star Boxing TV app gives you exclusive access to every moment of Joe DeGuardia's Star Boxing. Available on Apple, Android, and Roku. Just search Star Boxing to get in the ring.
Round number 2, scheduled 4-rounder, pro debut of Naseem Deen. He's in the black and white. John Douglas from Guyana. He's in the white and red, came in tonight with a record of 2-3-1. Not a bad first pro round for Deen, Steve, all things being considered, and considering the opposition that he's in with for a pro debut.
Yeah, and right now he's fighting a little bit differently. He's bending a lot at the knees and the waist, getting lower, which he didn't do at all in the first round.
I would never want to put a pro debuter in against anybody who's had 6 professional fights. I don't care if the guy was 0-6. He's been to the show 6 times.
Yeah, and he's a former Olympian who's been in with world-class fighters. Very strange selection by Naseem Deen and his people.
Nevertheless, I gave him the first round.
Yeah, he definitely won the round. Deen won the round. Right now he's walking into a few straight shots. You mentioned in the first round, Arnie, about heavily muscled guys like Deen. You see Deen carries his left hand by his side. You know, maybe his arms are so big, maybe it's just more comfortable and more natural to let it hang by its side instead of protecting his face.
Or his arms are so heavy from the muscles
yeah,
that
exactly.
they're harder to hold up.
Exactly. It's not a good idea, though.
Deen's pro debut. John Douglas made his pro debut back in February of '97. As Steve mentioned, he knocked out Wayne Braithwaite in 4 rounds.
Braithwaite, yeah, right now a top 5 cruiserweight.
Last fight, he fought a draw with Jose Diaz. That was in July, so he's been inactive for about 6 or 7 months now.
Douglas, 29 years old, showing a little of his experience here, keeping the fight at a distance, and also he's landed some nice straight right hands over the low left guard of Deen.
I think Douglas looks very mechanical to me, though, Steve. He throws his jab, he follows with the right, very predictable. Doesn't seem to have, in my opinion, a lot of passion or fire right now at all.
Again, Deen very square there. I don't like that. Way too square.
Well, again, it's that right foot.
Yeah, you can't get maximum leverage when you're that square. You're also opening yourself up to getting hit more.
Coming near the end of round 2. Neither fighter really taking command here right now. Deen starting to breathe a little heavy through his mouth, too, Steve. We'll see if that's just momentary or if he's starting to fatigue a little bit.
Hey, boxing fans, come out for live boxing. Joe DeGuardia's Star Boxing presents Rockin' Fights. For ticket information, go to starboxing.com or ticketmaster.com. See some of the best young fighters. Star Boxing, Rockin' Fights, it's a knockout.
Second half of a scheduled 4-rounder. Light heavyweights. The man throwing the looping right hand, making his pro debut tonight. Naseem Deen, he's in the black and white shorts. John Douglas, white and red. No knockdowns thus far in the fight. I'd have to say, Steve, though, at this point, it's been all Deen, although not big time.
Well, the first round, Deen definitely won. He hurt his man. In the second round, it was much closer. And that's why, because basically Douglas landed straight rights, lead rights. That's been his punch. That's his ticket. And the reason they're landing is because Deen holds his left hand by his knee.
Douglas starting to open up a little bit more here, showing some of that fire that I didn't think he had in the first 2 rounds, but he's backed up right there by that right hand by Deen. Let's keep a close eye on Deen. Started breathing heavy near the end of the second round. And now he seems to be breathing heavy again, and a nice body attack. First time in the fight by Douglas. Joe Santarpia separating the fighters. Coming in tonight from Yonkers Raceway on Joe DeGuardia Star Boxing. I'm Arnie Tokyo Rosenthal along with Steve Farhood. Hope you're enjoying our presentation. Nice uppercut on the inside again by Douglas.
This fight is tightening up on it.
Well, I think it's because of a stamina problem right now on the part of Deen.
You know, at times he shows moves, Deen, that are kind of Tyson-esque. Holds his gloves up by his face in that D'Amato style, and then moves left, moves right real quick the way Tyson used to. But he isn't punching combination enough the way Tyson used to.
Well, also, I don't think that peekaboo style, the D'Amato school, the Floyd Patterson style of boxing, is something you can flow in and flow out of. Either you fight that way or you don't. You can't all of a sudden select that that's the way you're going to fight, because you won't have the power like they had from those lunging left hooks.
Exactly, and certainly the D'Amato style is not to carry your left hand so low. I hate to see that in a fighter.
That's a Kronk style.
Yeah, well, when you're Tommy Hearns, you can get away with it.
Two right-hand leads thrown by Douglas, and Douglas certainly taking command here.
Good left hook by Douglas, and I think Deen might be a little tired.
Well, under 30 seconds to go here in the third, and a much better round for Douglas. And I'd have to say, Steve, I gave the first 2 rounds to Deen, so Douglas possibly looking to pull out a draw, and Deen looking to preserve his pro debut win, as we're going to be coming into the 4th round. And as always, they're swinging on the star. Fourth and final round, a very close fight. Naseem Deen making his pro debut. He's in the black and white. John Douglas, he's in the white and red. Nobody's been down on the floor. Steve, I've got a 2-1 for Deen going into this. The second round could have gone the other way.
I gave the second round to Douglas, interestingly. I have him up 2-1.
What's your opinion?
Well, this is a close one, and neither guy can afford to lose this round. Let's see if the stamina problem is indeed a problem for Deen.
Always interesting to see the fighter in his pro debut, what he can do, what he can't. Pacing is always an issue. Coming out of the amateurs, they're used to those 2-minute rounds. Oh, and a big right hand drops Douglas. Some of those rounds were very close. I thought the only round other than the fourth that Deen won going away was the first round. But let's take a look again at the knockdown.
It's an overhand right, Arnie. And
it's going to be right in this corner.
wow.
It was a beautiful shot. I tell you, based on the kind of shot it was, you got to give Douglas a lot of credit for how strong he came back in the second half of the round.
Indeed, and I'll tell you, Deen flirted with DQ there because he almost hit. He wanted to hit Douglas when Douglas was down, but fortunately he held up.
And perhaps if Deen had a little bit more left in the tank, he could have stopped Douglas at that point. But as we mentioned, it looked like fatigue was setting in, so much so that we were surprised at the knockdown. Douglas was coming on very strong at that point. But Ed Darian still gathering up the score sheets, and that's usually an indication that things are fairly complex in terms of the outcome of this fight. But it looks like Ed's got the numbers for us right now. So we're going to go up for our official decision from our ring announcer, Elegant Ed Darian.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've got the scoring, and here it is. Judge Alan Groper scores 38-37, Jenkins Deen. Judge Chuck Hill, he has it 38-37, Jenkins Deen. And Judge Jim Pierce has it 38-37 for Douglas, and the winner by split decision, Jenkins Deen.
Well, a little slow in coming. I'm not sure who Jenkins Deen is, Steve. We have Naseem Deen. We have John Douglas. But I'm fairly sure that means Naseem Deen, who obviously pulled it out with the knockdown.
That was the
in the
difference,
fourth
Art.
round.
Yep.
As the two judges have it 38-37 for Deen, 38-37 for Douglas, which means they had to have it 3 rounds to 1 most likely. Nevertheless, Naseem Deen wins his pro debut. He'll be 1-0. John Douglas will drop down to 2-4-1. More swinging on the star to come. Stay with us.